Hi. Let's learn about Incoterms. To facilitate commerce around the world, the International Chamber of Commerce publishes a set of Incoterms, officially known as International Commercial Terms. These terms prevent confusion in foreign trade contracts by clarifying the obligations of buyers and sellers. Parties involved in domestic and international trade commonly use Incoterms as a kind of shorthand to help understand one another and the exact terms of their business arrangements. The International Chamber of Commerce developed Incoterms in 1936 and updates them periodically to conform to changing trade practices. The ICC's mission is to promote open markets and ensure global economic prosperity through trade. Incoterms provide a universal set of rules and guidelines that help facilitate trade, providing a common language that traders can use to set the terms for their trades. Some common examples of Incoterms rules for any mode of transportation include delivered duty paid, delivered at place, DAP, and ex works, EXW. The 7 Incoterms for any mode of transport were updated and classified by modes of transport in 2010, with certain responsibilities and costs allocated to the buyer and seller depending on the specific Incoterm used. The ICC has specific Incoterms rules for inland waterway and sea transport, such as cost, insurance, and freight and free on board (FOB). These terms allocate responsibility for transportation, insurance, and loading costs to either the buyer or seller, depending on the specific Incoterm used. It's important to understand which Incoterm applies to a specific transaction to ensure clarity and avoid disputes. There are specific instances that Incoterms will not cover, and working only with Incoterms can be constricting due to the omission of certain sale conditions. It's important for all parties involved in a contract to address these instances before signing the contract to ensure a smooth business transaction. Although the 2010 Incoterms were updated in 2020, there are no significant differences in the naming conventions between the two. However, there are notable differences in security costs and other responsibilities associated with certain Incoterms. It's essential for buyers and sellers to understand these changes when using Incoterms for international trade agreements. The single greatest advantage of using Incoterms is the standardization and specificity of complicated international trade aspects, which eliminates ambiguity and simplifies negotiations. However, one of the notable disadvantages of Incoterms is that buyers and sellers often have different preferences when using them, making it crucial for parties to negotiate and agree on the specific terms to use. Yes, it is still acceptable to use the 2010 Incoterms. However, both buyer and seller should agree in writing to use either the 2010 or 2020 Incoterms version to avoid misunderstandings or disputes. The 11 Incoterms are ex works, free carrier, FCA, carriage paid to, CPT, carriage and insurance paid to, CIP, delivered at place, DAP, delivered at place unloaded, DPU, delivered duty paid, DDP, free alongside ship, FAS, free on board, FOB, cost and freight, CFR, and cost, insurance, and freight, CIF. These terms provide clarity and specificity for different aspects of international trade agreements. Incoterms are used to clarify business terms in international trade and to facilitate trade by allocating responsibilities and costs to the buyer or seller. Their standardization and specificity make trading much simpler, although negotiations over which terms to use can still be necessary. Incoterms are helpful terms used to facilitate international trade, categorizing responsibilities and costs between the buyer and seller. However, it's important to note that there are some aspects of trade that the terms do not cover, and it's essential for parties to negotiate and agree on the specific terms to use in each trade agreement. Here are 5 key takeaways. 1. International commercial terms, Incoterms for short, clarify the rules and terms that buyers and sellers use in international and domestic trade contracts. 2. The International Chamber of Commerce, ICC, developed Incoterms in 1936 and updates them periodically to conform to changing trade practices. 3. Examples of Incoterms for modes of transportation include delivered at terminal, DAT, delivered duty paid, DDP, and Ex Works, EXW. 4. Incoterms were updated for 2020, and although only one term changed, there are notable differences in security costs. 5. The terms are standardized, but certain buyers and sellers prefer individual terms over others. As such, which terms will be used is a matter of negotiation. Hope this would help. Thanks for watching.